Hey, all right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. This is Mike Johnson here with the Saturday, May the 16th, 2020 edition of Soul Shine Sessions. And I'm glad you're here with me. I mean, if you're watching this later and you slept in, that's okay too. I'm glad you're watching. You know, this morning what I want to talk about is something very important. It's what makes you, you. What is it that makes you who you are? Now, I watched a heartbreaking video just the other day. Actually, it was yesterday. It was a news report and video of an elderly man who was a music store owner in Michigan who was about to close his store completely. He actually was giving the instruments away, and it just broke my heart. But something else that broke it even more was as he was talking about this situation and how terrible it is to lose his business that he has run just about his whole life. He says, "It's what I am." Now, any of you who have ever lost a business, a friend, a partner, a family member, you can identify with this, but some way, somehow in life, you've got to figure out how to move forward. And if that one thing is what you are, it's what makes you you, you're devastated and stopped completely. Now, the reason that I'm saying this is because how we identify and articulate who we are has a huge effect in determining, number one, how happy we are and how able we are to sustain that happiness. Number two, it determines how we respond to adversity. And one thing that I've learned from life is there is always adversity from somewhere. And we need to learn how to deal with that and how to face it. But number three, it has a huge effect in determining how fulfilled and successful that we feel in life. You know, if the one thing that you do gets taken away, and that's how you identify yourself, it's what you are, your life is all but over. Like I've got here on the board, and I hope you don't mind, you know, because I like writing on messy boards, and I'm not the neatest in writing ever, but I hope you can read it. But if it's your job, if your identity revolves around your job, what happens in an industry when it changes? What do you think happened to people who were in the record industry and they identified their life and their livelihood by albums, and then all of a sudden cassette tapes came along, and then CDs, and then MP3s, and you know, it's come back. Albums are a thing again. But what happens when your identity revolves around your job? What happens when there's a Wuhan virus and your identity revolves around your job and you're stuck at home? What happens when your identity revolves around your family? And I'm not in any way saying that family is not important, because it's extremely important. But it's not how you need to identify yourself. I see parents who their children grow up and then they move out, and they're devastated because their identity revolved around their children. Or maybe it's around your parents. Your parents have become your identity. What happens when your parents pass away? Or they're unable to support you anymore? Or what happens if your identity revolves around your parents and then you have to support them? Or maybe it's your hobbies. Your identity is your hobbies. I mean, for me, I play music, and I love to play music. And I believe that it's one of the most enjoyable things that I do. But my identity isn't my hobby. Some people say I am a musician, and we don't understand the implications and what that statement means. Or I am an engineer. I am this or that, whatever it is. That's how you identify yourself. You've built your own prison to live in. Tuesday we're going to talk a little bit more about this in terms of I am. And I think it's going to be a really interesting discussion. So I hope you'll tune back in Tuesday. But what if your idea of who you are revolves around your career, and immediately sometimes it's gone? Here is where you identify who you are. It's in your thoughts. You identify who you are by how and what you think. James Allen wrote an incredible book back in 1903 called As a Man Thinketh. Well, he was quoting from the Bible in the book of Proverbs. It says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And it's true. You choose who you are. You choose to believe the people around you that say that you're not enough. You believe the people who say you can't do something. And when you believe that, that's that prison that you build. One of the things that James Allen writes in this book is each man holds the key to every condition, good or bad, in his thoughts. My thoughts. That's what makes me who I am. It's what makes you, you. It's not what you do. Now, what you do is important, but it's not who you are. And I hope that you'll think about this over the weekend. Who are you? What makes you the person that you are? And if you want to change that person, you can by changing these, your thoughts. We should all work harder on being better, changing our thoughts so that they are more in tune with who we really want to be. Understand that all of these things that revolve around what makes us who we are aren't who we are. Our job. May have a great job. I do. My family. I've got a great family. I've got great parents. I've got wonderful hobbies and a good career. But it's my thoughts that makes me who I am. And when things change, as they always will, it doesn't change who I am. Take that and chew on it for a while this weekend. And I'll see you Tuesday, bright and early, 7 o'clock. Look forward to it. I love y'all. Have a soul shine day. And I'll see you soon.